Hi, welcome to Bedtime Stories with Mrs. Ferris and my friend Bernard. We're going to have some wonderful stories today. We'll do some finger plays and songs. I'll remember to do, which one? Sticky bubble gum. And we'll have some fun on the flannel board before our closing story. So let's get started. Our first story is about a dragon. And it's called Look Out, It's a Dragon. It's by Jonny Lambert, and he did the pictures too. And this book is published by Tiger Tales. Now Sapphire, this is Sapphire. Sapphire wasn't like other dragons. She didn't want to crush castles or capture princesses. And sitting on cold, rocky mountains just, well, hurt her bottom. That's it, said Sapphire. I'm off. So she searched far and wide until she found a sunny place filled with trees. Well, hello, neighbors, beamed Sapphire, landing with a whoosh in a field full of flowers. Look out! It's a dragon, cried the animals. Run! And they ran. Oh, don't run away. It's so nice here. Sapphire sighed happily, wriggling her in the long, soft grass. But from behind her, a little voice squeaked, Hey, you're squashing me. You can't stay here. But I love it here, replied Sapphire. Why can't I stay? Because you're a dragon, Mouse explained. Can you see Mouse? It's very small. And we know what dragons do. They chase us with their fiery flames. Well, not me, said Sapphire. I'm a friendly dragon. Look. And she picked up a snack for Mouse. Why, thank you, squeaked Mouse, a little surprised. But just then, Sapphire's nose began to itch. Can you guess? Chew! Sapphire sneezed an enormous sneeze and accidentally singed Warbler's tail. Eek! Squeaked Mouse. Ah! Cried Warbler. I've been scorched by a dragon, and now it's coming after me. Well, Sapphire swooped after the songbird. Oh, please come back. You've got it wrong. I just want to be your friend. But Warbler didn't stop, so Sapphire followed her, going crash, smash, splinter through the trees, toppling birds from their tops. Ah! Cried the animals. A dragon is wrecking our homes. Well, enough was enough. Stop, you lumbering beast, bellowed Mouse. He might have been small, but he had a big mouth, at least a voice. You can't live here. Leave us alone. Well, Sapphire's ears drooped, and she shuffled away. It really was a perfect home. She sniffed sadly. Poor Sapphire. Good riddance, muttered Mouse, and the animals settled down for a nap. But as they slept, eerie shadows crept closer and larger. The shadows loomed, and then, do you see what I see? Is that Sapphire? Sizzle, scorch, singe. Oh, the animals scattered this way and that, chased by fiery, scary dragons. Help, they cried. Somebody help us. And somebody did. Can you guess? Whoosh! Nobody hurts my friends, cried Sapphire, swooping in and chasing off the dragons. Thank you, Sapphire, the animals cheered. We're sorry we told you to leave. But their home was scorched. We can't stay here, said Mouse. So Sapphire took off and searched far and wide with all of her new friends until she found a happy new home for all of them. "It's perfect," cried the animals. And it was. There was sunshine and flowers and space for everyone, even the biggest of friends. So they just had to give Sapphire a chance, didn't they? Not all dragons are alike. I wonder when they got their new home if they jumped on the bed. Maybe. Do you think we could have dragons jumping on our bed today? How about if you put up your 5 fingers and get your bed all ready? There were 5 friendly dragons who were jumping on the bed. When one fell off, well, he bumped his head. So his mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more dragons jumping on the bed." So 4 friendly dragons were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more dragons jumping on the bed." So 3 friendly dragons were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more dragons jumping on the bed." So 2 friendly dragons were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more dragons jumping on the bed." So how many does that leave? Did you say 1? So 1 friendly dragon was jumping on the bed. When she fell off, oh, she bumped her head. So her mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more dragons jumping on the bed." So no more dragons. But I think we can have another book. And this one might sound a little familiar, but it's got a new twist on it. This is called Little Red Riding Hood. It's written and illustrated by Campbell Ernst, and its subtitle is A Newfangled Prairie Tale. And this book is published by Simon and Schuster Books for young readers. Now, once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived at the edge of a great prairie. And because she always wore a jacket with a red hood when she rode her bike, well, everyone called her, can you guess? Little Red Riding Hood. Now, one morning, as Little Red Riding Hood sat eating her favorite wheat berry muffins, she had an idea. "Mom," she said, "it's going to be a real scorcher today. Grandma sure would love it if I brought her some muffins and lemonade. You know how crabby she gets in the heat." Little Red Riding Hood loved visiting her grandmother. "Great idea," her mother said. So Little Red Riding Hood's mother packed the still warm wheatberry muffins and cold lemonade into a basket. And after airing up the tires on her bike and testing the brakes, Little Red Riding Hood set out on her way. "Now don't forget," called her mother, "go straight to Grandma's, and whatever you do, don't talk to strangers." "Sure, Mom," Little Red Riding Hood promised. Now Little Red Riding Hood pedaled down the Toad Road, past the gas station, the feed store, and the old Wilson place. She waved at everyone she saw, and everyone waved back. As the edge of town disappeared and the prairie began, Little Red Riding Hood zigzagged between the crops, taking the shortcut to Grandma's house. Blackbirds startled and sunflowers swayed as she whizzed by. "What a nice visit this will be," Little Red said to herself. "Grandma simply adores muffin and lemonade." But who should be cutting through that very same field? And up to no good? Well, a very hungry wolf. And when the smell of those wheatberry muffins came wafting his way, the wolf's nose quivered. "Gadzooks," he said. "What is that scrumptious smell?" The wolf rushed forward towards the heavenly odor. "Whatever it is, I must have it," he said. So with one giant leap, the wolf landed right in front of Little Red Riding Hood, who was still on her bicycle. "Aha!" he roared. Little Red Riding Hood slammed on her brakes. "Hey, be careful," she shouted. "You could get hurt surprising someone like that." The wolf chuckled at the warning. "What's in the basket, dearie?" he asked with a wide-toothed grin. Can you do a wide-toothed grin? That means you're going to show all your teeth. "Muffins and lemonade," Little Red Riding Hood said slowly. "For my grandmother?" "Oh, but such a tantalizing smell," the wolf drooled. "Oh, they must be very special muffins." "Oh, they are," Little Red Riding Hood said proudly. "They're my grandma's secret recipe, and they always take first prize at the fair." Well, the wolf licked his lips. "Oh, she must be a dear, sweet woman," he crooned. "Do you have very far to travel?" "Oh, no," Little Red Riding Hood answered. "Just over that ridge, this side of Turkey Creek." "Mm-hmm," the wolf smirked, his mouth curling up at the corners. "How fortunate." "Well, I have to go," said Little Red Riding Hood quickly. "Grandma's waiting." The wolf slyly turned in the opposite direction and pointed. "Oh," he gasped, "what beautiful flowers! Such a dear, sweet grandmother surely deserves some of those." Little Red Riding Hood nodded. "Gee, you're right," she said, jumping off her bike. "Grandma loves flowers. Do you think she'd like these white ones too?" But the whistle of the prairie wind was the only response. The wolf was gone. Well, of course, the wicked wolf had a dastardly plan. He laughed wildly as he raced through the wheat. "First, I'll surprise that feeble old granny and steal her recipe. Then I wait for the kid in the red jacket to show up with the treats, and soon, I'll hold the secret to those delectable muffins, and those two country bumpkins won't know what hit them." His evil chuckles drifted through the fields. Now, when the wolf arrived at Grandma's house, he found a note on the door. "Little Red Riding Hood," it said, "out in the field. Love, Grandma." "Oh, this will be even easier than I thought," the wolf snarled. "Grandma's obviously off her rocker, wandering around in this heat. Muddled brains are so easy to persuade." The wolf cackled, feeling enormously pleased with his good fortune. But when the wolf searched the fields for Little Red Riding Hood's tottering old granny, all he could see was a farmer riding a tractor. Impatient, he shouted, "Hey, old man, where's the ancient granny who lives in this house?" The farmer, though, seemed to hear nothing. "Oh, very well," the wolf said with a snicker. "I love surprising these dim-witted hicks." Oh, that's not nice to say. He began to silently sneak up behind the tractor. And then, before the wolf knew what was happening, the farmer whirled around and grabbed him by his fancy suspenders. "Hold on right there, scoundrel," the farmer shouted. "What in tarnation do you think you're doing?" The wolf gasped and stammered, I'm looking for the frail, loony, muffin-baking granny who lives in that house." "Well, Sherlock," boomed the farmer, whose grip tightened on the wolf, "you're talking to her." "That's Granny." The wolf's mouth dropped open and he began to shake. He finally said, "What big eyes you have, Grandma." "All the better to see you skulking around my fields," Grandma answered. "My, what big ears you have, Grandma," the wolf croaked. "All the better to hear you coming," Grandma answered. "My, what big hands you have, Grandma," the wolf groaned. "All the better to crush you like a bug, if need be," said Grandma. And lucky for the wolf, Little Red Riding Hood rolled up just at that moment. "Grandma, are you okay?" she called. "Sure, sweetie," Grandma said. And together they marched that grumbling wolf to Grandma's kitchen, Grandma lecturing him all the way. "Didn't you think there was a Little Red Riding Hood? If there was a Little Red Riding Hood, that there'd be a Big Red Riding Hood? I thought I got rid of all the bullies like you when I moved away from that forest." "Might as well have a bite to eat while we decide what to do next," said Granny. The wolf, for once, was silent. His mouth was full of delicious muffins. "Of course," said Granny at last. And soon after, Grandma opened her own muffin shop right in town, just west of the post office, called Grandma's Muffin Palace. And the wolf? Well, he was her chief baker, sales clerk, and dishwasher, being kept much too busy to cause trouble for anyone. And naturally, the wolf got to eat all the muffins he wanted, which, you know what, improved his disposition enormously. But just in case he got any ideas about stealing Grandma's recipe again, Grandma always put in the last secret ingredient herself. Red Riding Hood, too, went to work for her grandmother, delivering muffins on her bike. And every day, rain or shine, the wolf carefully packed Little Red Riding Hood's basket. "Hey, kid," he called after her as she whizzed down Toad Road, "don't talk to strangers." And Little Red Riding Hood never did again. And you know, at the very end of the book, there's a copy of Grandma's recipe for the muffins. And, well, you'll have to look to see what the secret ingredient was. Well, how about if we do a finger play about something you would eat? Not bubble gum, because we don't eat bubble gum. We do chew it, but we'll save that till after the next story. But how about our hot dogs? I've got 5 little hot dogs that are cooking in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. So 4 little hot dogs are cooking in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. 3 little hot dogs are cooking in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. So 2 little hot dogs are cooking in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. So now 1 little hot dog is cooking in the pan. The grease got hot and the one went bam. So no little hot dogs are cooking in the pan. The grease got hot and the pan went bam. Well, I'm hoping soon you'll come to visit me at the library. We're going to have some of our summer programs in the library, and others we're going to keep doing virtually like this. But we're going to have a story about one of our favorite characters when he goes to the library. This is Froggy Goes to the Library. It's written by Jonathan London with pictures by Frank Remkowitz. And it is published by Viking Books. Does Froggy's library look like your library? No, it is brick. And it has some pillars out in front. Let's see what happens when Froggy goes to the library. It was Saturday morning, and Froggy stayed in bed to read his favorite book. It was about Super Frog. "Froggy," called his mom. "What?" "It's time to get up, dear. We're going to the library." "Yippee!" cried Froggy, and he hopped out of bed and flopped into the kitchen. Flop, flop, flop. "Let's go," said Froggy, and he started flopping right out the door. Flop, flop, flop. "First," said Mom, "you have to get dressed." "I know that," said Froggy. And he flopped back to his room and got dressed. Zip, zoop, zup, zut, 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 zut. Then he flopped back, flop, 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 and said, "Let's go. I want to get books about Super Frog and T-Rex." "But first," said his mother, "eat your breakfast, dears." Said Froggy, "home flies and ketchup. Munch, crunch, munch." Then Froggy raced out the door. "Froggy," called Mom. "What?" "Don't forget your book bag, dear, so you can carry home lots of books." "I'd better take the wheelbarrow," cried Froggy. "I'm getting tons of books." So off to the library they went with a squeaky old wheelbarrow. Squeak, squeak, squeak. You see, he gave his sister a ride in the wheelbarrow. That was nice of him. Well, in no time at all, Froggy had a stack of books so high he couldn't see over the top. So he, tripped over his sister Polly, and then fell smack on his face, splat, and spilled all his books. And that's when Froggy saw, Frogalina. "Hi, Froggy. Want some help picking up your books?" "I could do it myself," shouted Froggy. "Oh, please, use your indoor voice, dear," said the librarian, Mrs. Otterbottom. Well, first Froggy read a book about Super Frog. He wasn't very good at reading, but he was very good at looking at the pictures. Swit, swit, as he turned the pages. And when he got to the part about Super Frog flying high and fast after the bad guys, he stood up on the table, spread out his arms like wings, and... "Please sit down, dear," said Mrs. Otterbottom. "It's not polite to stand on the table in the library." "Oops," said Froggy. Then he picked out lots of books about dinosaurs, especially his favorite, T-Rex. "Roar!" cried Froggy, holding his hands up like claws. Can you do that? Can you put your hands up like you've got claws? "Froggy," called Mrs. Otterbottom. "What?" "This is a library, dear, not a dinosaur park." "Oops," said Froggy. "Sorry." Then Mrs. Otterbottom announced, "Story time. Come gather round, children." Me, cried Pollywoggalina. "Story time is for babies," said Froggy. But you know what? He's wrong. Little by little, the book that Mrs. Otterbottom was reading got all of Froggy's attention. What a great story, thought Froggy. And he wanted to know what happened next, so he scooted closer and closer and closer. And when Mrs. Otterbottom started doing rhymes and songs, he got so excited that he leapfrogged over Frogalina, and he leapfrogged over his mother, and he leapfrogged over Polly, and he landed right smack beside Mrs. Otterbottom, and he started singing, "Wiggle, wiggle, waggle, waggle, giggle, giggle, gaggle, gaggle." And all the kids laughed like crazy. So Froggy kept on singing and dancing until it suddenly grew quiet, very quiet, so quiet you could hear a fly drop. Froggy took one look at Mrs. Otterbottom and, he knew he was in trouble. "Oops," cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. Mrs. Otterbottom stared hard at him. And then she smiled, and she even joined in. And so did everyone else. Can you sing along with them? Wiggle, wiggle, waggle, waggle, giggle, giggle, gaggle, gaggle, until story time was over. Thanks for being so energetic, Froggy, said Mrs. Otterbottom. And then she handed him the book she'd been reading aloud and said, I'm glad to know that Froggy loves books. Come again soon. Thanks, cried Froggy. Books are the best. And he put that new book right on top of his pile to check out, and then rolled his wheelbarrow full of books with Polly on top, singing, let's do it again, wiggle, wiggle, waggle, waggle, giggle, giggle, gaggle, gaggle, all the way home. Squeak, squeak, squeak. All right, I'm pretty sure it's time to reach in your pocket. I'm going to take a sip of water, though, before we do anything else. Okay, reach in your pocket. Actually, do I have any other pockets? No. Reach in my pretend pocket. Whoops, stay on camera here. And if you don't have a pocket, just pretend you do, because what we're looking for is our piece of pretend bubble gum. Take a good look at it. If it has a wrapper on it, you don't want to eat that, so unwrap it, toss your wrapper in the trash, pop the gum in your mouth and chew it up until it's nice and soft and squishy, and then we'll do something disgusting with it. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, I think it's ready. Put your hand out and let's count together. 1, 2, 3. Spit your pretend gum, and only your pretend gum, right into your hand. And clap your other hand on top. And we've got sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your chin. Do we leave it there? Heavens no. So what do we have to say? On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your arm. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your nose. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your back. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your cheek. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your knee. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on mom or dad. Are you there yet? Did you do it? Okay. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your toe. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum. Time to throw it in the trash. Let's see. We'll have one more book before we do our flannel board. And since it's getting to be bedtime, shall we do one about going to bed? This is called Go Sleep in Your Own Bed. This is written by Candace Fleming with pictures by Lori Nichols. and it's published by Schwarz and Wade Books. You can tell it's nighttime. See some stars and the moon. Snuggled in, snuggled down. Bedtime on the farm. Well, Pig toddled to his sty, going waddly jog, waddly jog. But when he plopped down, moo, who do you think he found? Who says moo? Get up, squealed Pig. Go sleep in your own bed, cow. Oh, hayseeds, lowed Cow, and she tromped to her stall, clompity-stomp, clompity-stomp. But when she snuggled down, bark, who do you think she found? Can you see? Get up, bellowed Cow. Go sleep in your own bed, chicken. Oh, fluff and feathers, clucked Hen, and she straggled to her coop, peckety-droop, peckety-droop. But when she nestled down, nay, who do you think she found? Can you guess whose bottom we're looking at? Got a long tail. It said nay. Get up, squawked Hen. Go sleep in your own bed, horse. Oh, woe is me, whickered Horse, and he shambled to his stable, cloppity-plod, cloppity-plod. But when he settled down, meh, well, who do you think he found? Get up, whinnied Horse. Go sleep in your own bed, sheep. Oh, bother, bleated Sheep, and she stumbled to her pen, trippity-slump, trippity-slump. But when she huddled down, aroof, who do you think she found? Get up, baaed Sheep. Go sleep in your own bed, dog. Oh, bark and bellyache, whined Dog, and he padded to his kennel. Sniffity-drag, sniffity-drag. But when he flopped down, meow, who do you think he found? Get up, woof Dog. Go sleep in your own bed, cat. Oh, drat, mewed Cat, and she tiptoed to her spot, pittery-pat, pittery-pat. But when she cuddled down, here, kitty, kitty, and who do you think she found? Oh, there you are, said the girl. Come, sleep in my bed. Snuggled in, snuggled down, bedtime on the farm. Till we get ready for our song. Because today we're going to have a very familiar song on our flannel board. I'm sure you all know it. It's a song that has a farmer in it. We put him over here. And it has a dog in it. I'm going to put the farmer up just a little bit, I think. There's the dog. And can you guess what this dog's name is? Well, let me spell it for you. B I N G. You know what the last one is, don't you? O. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. Now, if you've ever sung this song, you might know that there are, well, let's see, several more verses. Pretty much the same, except for a little bit of a change when we do the spelling. I'm going to turn over the first letter. And instead of saying B when we get to that part of the song, you're going to clap your hands one time, okay? Just for the B, and then we'll spell the rest of it out. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. Now I'm going to turn over the second letter, that letter I. Can you guess what we'll do as we sing the song this time? We're going to clap 1, 2 times, and then spell out the rest of the word. Okay, here we go. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. All right, let's turn over another letter. And how many claps will we have? 1, 2, 3. And we're actually left with a word at the end. Do any of you know what G-O stands for or spells? It spells go. Well, there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, all right. One more letter's going over. So now we're going to clap 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then just say the O at the end. Here we go. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, all right, last verse. We'll turn over the last letter. Are we going to say any letters? No, we're not. We're going to clap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we are, ready to go. Last one. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh, give yourself a round of applause for doing such a good job with our bingo song. And if we've had the flannel board, that means it's time for our last book. We always finish up with a Sandra Boynton book. Tonight we're going to be using Pajama Time. And this is published by Workman Publishing. There they are, all ready for bed. Well, the moon is up. It's getting late. Let's get ready to celebrate. It's pajama time. Now pull on the bottoms and put on the top. Get yourself set to pajama dee-bop. It's pajama time. Now some are old and some are new and some are red. Oh, that's Bernard. And some are, what color do you see there? Blue. Some are fuzzy and some are not. But we can all pajama in whatever we've got. It's pajama time. Oh yes, it's pajama time. Now some are pink and some are green and some are the ugliest I've ever seen. They might be stripy or polka dot, but we can all pajama in whatever we've got. It's pajama time. So pajama to the left and pajama to the right. Jamma, 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 PJ. Everybody's wearing them for dancing tonight. Jamma, 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 PJ. Now all around the room in one big line, wearing our pajamas and looking so fine. It's pajama time. Then hop into bed and turn out the light. You can have a party in your dreams tonight. It's pajama time. Hush, hush, it's pajama time. Hush, hush, it's pajama time. Shh. Good night. Sleep tight. And I hope you do have a good night and that you sleep tight. And I hope you'll join us again next Wednesday night when, well, it's Bedtime Stories with Mrs. Ferris and Bernard. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.